Ever wonder why getting rejected hurts? Not just in your chest, but your whole body. That's because your brain literally can't tell the difference between heartbreak and a sprained ankle. Wild, right? Here's what's actually happening inside your head when someone says, "I'm not interested." So here's what actually happens when you get rejected. Romantically, socially, even by a job. Your brain lights up like it's under attack. Specifically, the anterior cingulate cortex, the same region activated when you stub your toe or slam your finger in a door. Basically, your brain treats social rejection like a physical injury. It's not being dramatic, it's being efficient. In evolutionary terms, rejection meant exile, and exile meant death. So your brain evolved to treat rejection as a survival threat. Not metaphorically, literally. And because it uses the same neural pathways as physical pain, guess what actually helps? Tylenol. No joke. Studies show that acetaminophen can dull the sting of rejection. Because your brain isn't just sad, it thinks you're hurt. But if your brain thinks rejection is physical pain, why does it make you overthink everything you've ever said since 3rd grade? So the pain hits, but your brain isn't done yet. Now it activates the default mode network, the part responsible for self-reflection and rumination. Translation? You start replaying the moment over and over and over. Should I have said that? Did they hate my voice? Maybe I blinked wrong. Yeah, that spiral? It's not random. It's your brain trying to solve the rejection, but failing. And instead of closure, you get a highlight reel of cringe on loop. Why? Because rejection threatens your social identity, and your brain desperately wants to make sense of the threat. So it launches a full investigation, even if there's nothing left to find. That's why one no can hit harder than 100 compliments, because our brains are wired to prioritize pain over praise. It's survival first, feelings later. But hold on, if rejection messes you up this badly, why do some people bounce back like nothing happened? Let's zoom in on that. Not everyone spirals for 3 days after a text that says K. So what gives? The secret lies in how your brain handles emotional regulation. Specifically, the prefrontal cortex, your brain's logic filter and impulse control center. Stronger activity here equals faster recovery. Weaker activity? Welcome to emotional purgatory. And here's the twist. People who are chronically rejected, especially in childhood, often have overactive threat detectors. So, a small rejection feels like a personal apocalypse. Meanwhile, someone with a stable emotional baseline might just shrug and move on. It's not about being tough or soft. It's about how your brain has been trained to interpret the signal. And the good news, that wiring isn't fixed. With the right tools, your brain can learn to stop turning every no into an existential crisis. So, yeah, rejection sucks, but it's not weakness. It's ancient code, running on modern problems. So yeah, now you know what your brain's really doing when you get rejected. It panics. It spirals. It reruns the scene like it's trying to win an Oscar for most dramatic replay. And it's not being dramatic. It's just ancient software trying to survive modern heartbreak. You're welcome. That's gonna cost you 1 subscribe. Or a comment below if you've ever taken a rejection personally that wasn't even personal.